Have you ever woken up one morning and felt like your body was quietly rewriting its own rules? The energy that once came so naturally now feels harder to summon. Moments of recovery take longer. Confidence requires more effort to maintain. For men over 65, these changes often appear slowly, almost silently. But one day you notice them clearly. Testosterone begins to decline. Blood flow doesn't move with the same strength it once did. And intimacy, even in the most private sense, doesn't always unfold the way it used to. It leaves many men asking a simple but often unspoken question. How often should I take care of myself in this way? Is more always better? Or could too little carry its own risks? As a urologist, I've spent years studying this. And today I'll reveal the science-backed rhythm that protects your prostate, maintains vitality, and helps preserve that quiet confidence every man deserves. Before we begin, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. And if you find value in honest science-based conversations about men's health, subscribe to Life After 65. Because this isn't just about health. It's about reclaiming a part of yourself you thought might be fading and learning how to keep it strong for years to come. Now let's begin with the truth many men overlook. From the very first moment arousal begins, your entire body is set in motion. This private act is not just a quick release. It is a full-body event that touches nearly every system inside you. Your heart rate rises, blood vessels open wider, muscles in the pelvic floor begin their steady rhythmic contractions. At the same time, your brain sends out a surge of chemical messengers: dopamine for pleasure, oxytocin for calm and connection, and other neurotransmitters that influence mood, energy, and even the quality of your sleep that night. Your prostate also steps in. It produces and releases fluid as part of its natural maintenance. Think of it like oil moving through an engine, keeping the parts well lubricated and smooth. This process helps keep the gland healthy, its ducts clear, and circulation strong. In your younger years, this entire cycle could pass, and you would bounce back quickly. But after 65, the recovery takes longer. Blood does not flow as fast. Testosterone dips more easily, and your nervous system requires more time to reset. This does not mean you should stop. In fact, it means the opposite. It means you must find a rhythm that gives your body time to recover, so that each experience leaves you feeling uplifted, not drained. If you go too long without this activity, you risk losing responsiveness in erectile tissue. Pelvic floor muscles may weaken, and you miss the natural mood-boosting effects of a healthy release. On the other hand, if you overdo it, fatigue may follow, sensitivity can dull, or discomfort may appear in the prostate area. The art lies in balance, keeping circulation strong, hormones steady, and sensitivity alive without tipping into overuse. Science gives us guidelines, but the truth is your rhythm depends on you, your health, your activity level, your speed of recovery. Some men find their bodies thrive with slightly more frequency. Others need more space between. Think of it like exercise. Train too often and the muscles break down. Rest too long and strength fades. The key is steady engagement, not too much, not too little. Now pause for a moment. Have you ever noticed how your body feels different depending on how often you're intimate with yourself? If yes, type the number 1 in the comments. If no, type 0. Your story may help another man listening today. When you begin to see this practice not as a secret or a habit, but as a part of your overall health, it changes everything. It becomes less about pressure or performance and more about balance, vitality, and care. In the next section, we will explore what modern research and medical studies have revealed, including a remarkable Harvard study that shows how a simple rhythm may reduce the risk of prostate problems and keep your body responsive for years to come. One of the most reliable guides we have comes from research, and one of the most cited is a Harvard study that followed men over time. The results were clear. Men who released regularly about 4 to 7 times each month had a lower risk of developing certain prostate problems compared to those who rarely did. Why is this so powerful? Because regular activity prevents congestion in the prostate. It keeps blood moving freely in the area, and it maintains flexibility in the arteries that supply blood to the penis. Think of it like a garden hose. If it sits unused, the flow becomes sluggish and weak. But if you use it regularly, it stays clear, flexible, and responsive. There's another crucial piece: Nitric oxide. This is a natural chemical your body produces to relax and open blood vessels. It is what allows blood to rush into erectile tissue. Without it, you might feel mentally ready, but your body struggles to respond. The challenge is that nitric oxide declines with age. That is why keeping a steady but not excessive rhythm helps keep the system primed. It gives your body the reminder it needs to stay responsive. But here is where personal health makes the difference. A man who exercises, eats well, drinks enough water, and sleeps deeply may handle more frequent activity without trouble. Another living with high blood pressure, diabetes, or fatigue may need longer breaks to recover. For many healthy men over 65, every 3 to 5 days often strikes the best balance. Frequent enough to keep circulation strong, but with enough space for full recovery. It is like a workout plan for your sexual health. Too often, and you risk overtraining. Too rarely, and the muscles lose tone. Your goal is the sweet spot where performance stays strong, recovery complete, and each experience feels satisfying. This is not about competition. It is about listening to your own signals. When you find the right rhythm, you'll notice it. Your body feels lighter, your mind clearer, your energy more steady. Let me ask you, have you ever tried adjusting your rhythm and felt a clear difference in your energy or mood afterward? If yes, type yes in the comments. If not, type no. Your answer might give another man the courage to reflect on his own habits. Remember, your body is not your enemy. It is your guide. It tells you when you're aligned and when you're pushing too far. Science offers the framework, but only you can fine-tune the rhythm that truly sustains you. In the next section, we will explore the warning signs that tell you when you have crossed the line into too much. Because sometimes the body whispers before it shouts, and learning to hear those whispers can save you from long-term problems. When it comes to rhythm, there is a line that can be crossed, and the body has its own quiet way of warning you. One of the first red flags is when erections begin to feel noticeably weaker, even though your mind is fully present. This is your body's way of saying, I need more time to recover. Think of it like the gym. If you push your muscles every day without rest, they cannot respond at their best. Here it is not just muscles, but your vascular system, your nerves, and your hormones that need that recovery window. Another signal is how you feel the next day. If you wake up heavier, sluggish, or mentally foggy, that's more than just aging. It is your nervous system still resetting after the energy and focus invested in arousal contractions and the release of chemical messengers. Without enough rest, you remain in a state of depletion. Reduced sensitivity is another warning sign. If it takes more stimulation than usual to feel aroused, or if climax feels less intense, your nerve endings may be asking you to slow down. Overuse can dull them temporarily, making satisfaction harder to reach. Some men notice a dull ache or heaviness in the pelvic area. Often this is the prostate requesting a pause. And then there is mood, dopamine. The brain's reward chemical spikes with each release, but if this happens too often, your system compensates by pulling levels down. The result, lower motivation, mood dips, and less drive, not only in intimacy but in daily life. The good news is that none of these changes are permanent. They are more like the warning lights on a car dashboard, signals that tell you to ease up, let things cool, and allow recovery. Often, just a few extra days of rest are enough to restore sensitivity, energy, and balance. So listen to your body. It speaks in subtle ways, and those whispers matter. Let me ask you this. Have you ever noticed your body asking for a break, maybe through fatigue or a weaker response? If you have, type the number 2 in the comments. If not, type 0. Sharing your signal may help another man realize he is not alone. Learning to see these signs not as failures, but as guides is one of the wisest things a man can do after 65. Because health at this stage is not about pushing harder, it is about balance. And balance gives strength that lasts. In the next part, we will turn the page and explore the other side of the coin. What happens when you do too little? Because just as overuse drains your system, neglect can slowly weaken it. Going too long without any activity may feel harmless at first, but over time it quietly works against you. The penis is built with spongy erectile tissue. This tissue thrives on regular infusions of oxygen-rich blood. When erections become rare, whether from partnered intimacy or solo activity, the tissue begins to lose elasticity. Slowly, small changes occur. Tiny amounts of scarring called fibrosis can develop inside the erectile chambers. This makes it harder to achieve and maintain firmness, even when your mind is fully engaged. It is much like a leather glove left unused in a drawer. Over time, it stiffens, losing its flexibility. It simply does not respond the way it used to. Your prostate also benefits from regular maintenance. Just as flushing old oil keeps an engine smooth emptying, the prostate periodically reduces congestion and lowers inflammation. This simple act helps prevent discomfort, pressure, and even long-term complications. When fluid sits too long, the risk of buildup increases and the gland begins to protest. Then there is the impact on hormones. Without periodic release, stress hormones such as cortisol begin to dominate. Cortisol is useful in short bursts, but when it lingers, it leaves you tense, irritable, and less motivated, not only in intimacy but in daily life. If weeks pass without activity, the body often starts sending gentle nudges. Erections may be harder to achieve. You might feel an unexplained heaviness in the pelvic region, or you may notice tension that seems to have no clear cause. These are quiet reminders that your system works best when engaged regularly. This does not mean chasing numbers. It does not mean comparing yourself to anyone else. It simply means honoring the fact that your body needs to stay active in this way. When you give it that attention, you keep the system ready for the moments when you want it most. Now let me ask you, have you ever felt more restless or tense after going for long gaps without intimacy? If yes, type the word restless in the comments. If no, type calm. Your answer may open someone's eyes to how deeply this rhythm influences our lives. The truth is, intimacy after 65 is not about proving anything. It is about care, about maintenance, about keeping the doors open so blood, nerves, and hormones can do their natural work. Neglect can be just as unhelpful as overuse, and finding the middle path is what keeps vitality alive. In the next section, we will talk about how to discover your personal sweet spot, a rhythm that is not taken from a chart, but tuned to your own body, because no two men recover in exactly the same way. Finding your personal rhythm is not about memorizing a number from a chart. It is about listening closely to your own body. Every man's recovery speed, hormone balance, and physical resilience are unique, especially after 65. A practical starting point for many is once every 4 days. This rhythm is often enough to keep circulation, active, nerves responsive, and the prostate healthy. Yet it still gives your system time to recharge fully. From there, treat it like an experiment. Notice how you feel. Do you wake up with natural morning firmness? Do you feel relaxed and clear-headed afterward without lingering fatigue? If yes, then you are likely in the right zone. But if you notice feeling drained, mentally foggy, or less sensitive than usual, your body is asking for more recovery time. On the other hand, if you go too long and start feeling tense, restless, or find spontaneous erections becoming rare, it may be time to shorten the gap. Think of it like exercising. If you push yourself too hard every day, you risk burnout or injury. If you ignore your muscles completely, they weaken and shrink. Sexual health follows the same principle. Steady, sustainable use keeps the system strong and ready. There is no prize for forcing yourself past your limits, and there is no loss in choosing a pace that fits you. The goal is balance, a rhythm that leaves you feeling better afterward, not worse. One way to guide yourself is to pay attention to morning signals. Morning erections, mood stability, and energy levels are natural markers. If they remain steady, your rhythm is working. If they begin to falter, adjust gently. Remember, wisdom at this stage of life is not about speed. It is about sustainability, longevity, and quality. Now let me ask you directly, have you ever experimented with adjusting your rhythm just to see how your body responded? If yes, type adjust in the comments. If not, type stay. Sharing your choice may encourage another man to take a closer look at his own habits. This stage of life is not about chasing old patterns. It is about evolving with your body, respecting what it asks for, and giving it exactly what it needs, no more, no less. In the next section, we will explore the everyday habits that can strengthen your performance even further. Because while rhythm matters, lifestyle choices can make every experience more satisfying and sustainable. Masturbation at this stage of life is not only about timing, it is also about supporting your body so that each experience feels its best. And that begins with the basics of daily living. Hydration plays a bigger role than most men realize. Water keeps blood volume healthy. It helps circulation flow smoothly. It makes it easier for blood to move into erectile tissue when arousal begins. Even mild dehydration can reduce firmness and force your heart to work harder. Movement is another cornerstone. You do not need hours in the gym, a brisk walk each day, light resistance training, or even gentle stretching. All of these keep blood vessels flexible and strong. They also boost nitric oxide, the vital signal that tells arteries to relax and let blood flow in. Sleep is just as important. Deep unbroken rest allows testosterone to rise naturally in the morning. That is why many men notice their strongest erections upon waking. Skip sleep and you rob yourself of one of nature's most reliable boosts. And then there is food. What you eat can either fuel your performance or hold it back. Leafy greens such as spinach provide magnesium and nitrates to relax blood vessels. Beets increase your body's production of nitric oxide. Salmon offers omega-3 fats that reduce inflammation and support steady circulation. And berries provide antioxidants that protect blood vessels and nerves from age-related wear. When these habits are paired with a balanced rhythm, the results go far beyond performance. They build vitality, they elevate mood, and they can even contribute to a longer, healthier life. This is where intimacy becomes part of something larger. Not just a private act, but a reflection of how well you care for yourself each day. It is not simply about frequency, it is about the foundation you give your body to thrive. Now let me ask you, have you ever noticed a direct connection between your diet, your sleep, or your exercise and your performance? If yes, type the word health in the comments. If no, type lifestyle. Your insight may help another man understand the importance of daily habits. When you view your body as a system, not as isolated parts, everything changes. Sexual health becomes linked to overall health, and every small choice from a glass of water to a short walk makes a difference. In the next and final section, we will bring everything together. We will answer the question clearly: what is the safest, most sustainable rhythm for men after 65? And how can you use this knowledge to keep your vitality alive for years to come? So what is the safest and most sustainable rhythm for men after 65? For most, every 3 to 5 days is ideal. Frequent enough to keep your sexual system active, your prostate healthy, and your mood balanced, but with enough space to let your body fully recover. The truth is, the healthiest rhythm is not about numbers. It is about how you feel afterward. Stronger, calmer, and more alive. For some men, that may mean a little more often. For others, a little less. The key is to work with your body, not against it. Your sexuality does not disappear with age, it evolves. And when you approach it with wisdom and care, it can remain one of life's most nourishing experiences. If you are not sure where to begin, start small. Try once every 4 days for a couple of weeks. Watch how your body responds. Notice your mood, your strength, your recovery. Then adjust gently until you find your sweet spot. And remember, this is not about comparison, not with your younger self, not with anyone else. It is about respect. Respect for a body that has carried you this far and still holds the power for vitality, pleasure, and confidence. If this message spoke to you, share it with a friend. You never know who might need to hear it today. And if you haven't yet, subscribe to Life After 65 for more conversations that matter. Because your strength does not fade with age. It evolves. And when you honor that evolution, your best years can still be ahead.